What's up, everybody? I'm Sierra Boggess. You may know me from The Little Mermaid and Phantom of the Opera, maybe in London, Les Mis. I don't know. You may just know me singing at you.
So you're here for your show coming up.
Yes.
And first of all, I would love to hear a little bit about how you first got into the industry. Like, was this a dream for you when you were a child?
Yes, I grew up in Denver, Colorado, in the middle of our country, and I didn't know what Broadway was. I had no idea. And I just loved singing, and I was an ice skater for 10 years. That's what I wanted to do, actually. But that's when I learned that I like to just, I was okay and I was around people and performing for people because you would compete, and that's how I knew that. But I was singing at the same time. And it was after I stopped ice skating that I just sort of fell into theater, and I went to college. Your university here.
Yeah. What did you study in college?
Musical theater.
Okay.
So I have a BFA in musical theater. Thank you. And then once I graduated, I moved to New York, and then it just was all downhill from there. And uphill.
All kinds of hills.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And especially if like you started with like skiing and performing in that kind of atmosphere, it would have been like a really good transition to be like, you know, in front of people.
I think so.
So what would you call your kind of like your little break? I like to think of when people, you know, make that realization to themselves that they're like, oh wow, you know, this is like what I want to be doing, like this makes me happy.
Yeah, I think it was when I was in high school, and it was just simply that I had a really good drama department, and we were a very poor high school. I went to public school, so there was no money in the school or anything like that, and our drama department, our drama teacher was amazing. She'd been there for 30 years, and that was the class that like kept me in school, really, because I hated school. I hated it so much. But I loved to go because I knew I would get to go and be with my people, which we always talk about, I think. Like kids who fall into singing or acting or dancing, it's, oh, these are my people, it's my tribe. A lot of time we're like the misfits or whatever. And so it was then, and doing school shows, and I think more than doing the show and enjoying being like center of attention, it was actually, when I reflect back, I think that what I was really responding to is the feeling of community. That this is your tribe, these are your people. That's, I think, what I was responding to. And then you learn that you can make a career out of that.
One of the best parts. And I love that you mentioned community, because I feel like in arts and entertainment, it's like when you find people who are just like you, you're just like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like,
this is it.
Yeah, this is my life. Like, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely.
So when it comes to Broadway shows that you've done, do you have one that stands out particularly? Like you were standing on stage and you were like, this is the life.
Well, for sure. I mean, your Broadway debut is going to always be special, I think. And I do remember standing on stage after the first preview of Little Mermaid and hugging my director and being like, we did it. Like, this is it. Now this has happened. No one can take that away from you. It's in the history forever that you originated this part on Broadway and this is your Broadway debut. I remember feeling that.
Now, do you have an idol that you look up to, and it can be, you know, like anyone like in musical theatre or like when you were younger that person was like inspiring you?
Yes. Barbra Streisand. Biggest Barbra Streisand fan ever. And I always grew up, I watched, the first thing that I saw of hers was Hello Dolly. On VHS, actually. It was on VHS tape. And I played it all the time. Always loved her and still do. And then now, the people that I'm really looking up to have nothing to do with theater. They're people like Brene Brown and Wayne Dyer, Panache Desai, Deepak Chopra, spiritual thinkers, and Oprah. Her Super Soul Sunday, I don't know if anybody gets to watch that over here in Australia, but it's so full of like just delicious spiritual nutrients for the soul, and I translate that into what I do for a living.
I was gonna ask you, like, did you have any of like words of advice for, you know, the younger generation, or like kids wanting to be in Broadway or musical theatre?
Well, I just taught a master class yesterday actually here in Melbourne at VCA, and I talked to them about, I gave them the book list. I was like, Brené Brown, Rising Strong, Daring Greatly, and Gifts of Imperfection. Those are her 3 books that are unbelievable, and I think they should be in a curriculum for performers who are going to school, or if you don't go to school, just read them and translate that to what you're doing for a living. But I also have this war cry, I'm calling it now, which is a quote that was said to me when I was 17 years old, and it's, "You are enough. You are so enough. It's unbelievable how enough you are." And everywhere I go now, because we live in a world of social media, people know that that's something that they associate me with. And the idea behind that quote is that you are enough just as you are. Just as you come onto this planet, that's enough. You don't have to add anything more to you. You don't have, just as you are, if you just trust that, it's unbelievable how enough you are.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it.
Oh,
yeah.
good. Thank you.
So for your upcoming show in Melbourne, what can people expect if they come along?
Well, I'm giving them songs that they would expect to hear from me, things like Little Mermaid and Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis, and then other songs that just go along with the message that I want to put out there, things that I love to sing. And this is a show that I've been putting together for about 5 years actually. And it started back in 2012, and I've done pieces of this show all over the world, and now it's the first time that I get to do this here in Melbourne and also Sydney and Brisbane. I really want people to walk away feeling inspired and looking at their lives and feeling light, and then I will sing at you too. So I'll talk to you about things, but I will also I tie in the songs and stuff based on quotes that I love or my message. Yeah.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait to come along and
Yay, I can't wait to have you there. It's gonna be awesome.
And I hope everyone else, comes along as well and, gets to hear about your wonderful life story. It's really inspiring.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you so much for having a chat today.
Thank you. I'm
wish you all
so
the
happy
best
to
in the
meet you.
future.
Thank you so much. Thank you.